bit. Okay.
But Adam knows nothing about the data and the technique of stepping lightly. Will he get across unscathed, or will those red-hot coals fry his feet? Ah, yes. Apparently so.
Wow! That hurt a lot.
Hello and welcome back to the day 2 of the hard 75 hard challenge. Today I have to shorten it a bit because I have a lab shift in a few hours, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to still spill the wisdom / experiences that happened today. But sadly I still can't prove that I did anything because, you know, my phone doesn't have space because of other things. Yeah, you know what I mean. So today we had a nice and easy day. A lot of actual weird things happen. I don't know, ever since the start of this challenge and ever since I started to look into more of trying to pursue more challenges and pursue more knowledge frequently with more books and more other things and more workout plans, I've started to see a lot of crazier things happen today, like the stress finally getting to an employee during a meeting today. That was a crazy experience, and of course there were the awesome things which I'm about to share. The cool things that I think, and why the intro relates to what I'm about to talk to, is there's a lot of things that we build up and stop us from what we try to do. Well, let me just back up actually, that would probably be better. When I went to Hawaii when I was like 8, 9, 10, or 11, 12, whenever my parents took me, we went on this weird like jungle tour guide with some like fancy like tour guide that was like swinging on vines and shit and had us like also swing on vines. But while I was going through that, my sister and I, we got bit a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean like there was a lot of flies, but half of that was because we decided to continue to swat the flies and we'd stop to swat the flies. And today I had this really nice epiphany, this really cool thing that happened actually. After I finished training, this time we did Haso cuts, which are kind of like if you were just shifting boxing from orthodox to southpaw. I think southpaw, yeah, that's the one. Is if you switch to southpaw, it's known as shifting. And when you do that, like say you now have the lead hand go to the back, and then now you're using the knockout hand to become the lead hand. That's known as shifting. So you're using a knockout hand, or whatever the backhand is called. I'm not really too educated in boxing other than the few classes that I took at UFC. Once you shift that to the front, that becomes known as shifting, and that gives you extra force because you add in that extra torque into your core, your upper torso, and also your hip. And that's the main thing we were practicing, or I was practicing today outside, which, like I mentioned before, after I had this was the cool story. What the cool story was I was on this quarter-of-a-mile walk back, because you have to walk back a quarter of a mile to my car, and this was just a massive trail of flies. Like, you know, you would probably breathe in. I don't know if you've seen that one reporter that like went to the deep south and then started breathing and then found like he had this like super like thick newscaster accent, and then it just became ebonics after that because he swallowed a fly. It was like that thick, where there's that many, like 2 C's thick, you know, with that many flies flying around. And all I could think about was, oh man, that's a lot of flies, and I wanted to swat them away. But the second that I saw the second portion of the swarm, I was like, wait, if I take a second to swat them away, even while I'm moving, all that's gonna do is agitate it. And that's what I wanted to really talk about today. I know it's gonna be shorter, and that's the intention because I'm trying to make it so that I don't have to edit much. But the cool theme about this is that when you have a lot of flies, and by flies I mean anything that irritates you in your life, you don't have to swat them. You don't have to just stay there. The best thing to do is just to continue walking, continuing to go along, and that's what I did with this intro with the coals too. I know the Mythbusters, they say that it was like if you don't have the technique down, you're not going to do it and all this other stuff. But the main symbolic thing about the coal walking is if you stop halfway through the coal walking, you're dead. Like if somebody trips in the burning coals, they're gonna fucking burn, stuff like that. But same thing with the flies. If you stop to think about the flies that are destroying you, you're going to get bitten by the flies. They're just gonna go after you because they also are trying to defend themselves and trying to get you. So you're passing irritatable energy to them, and they happen to be irritating as well. Same thing with LA traffic. That's another thing too. When you get mad, of course, you're going to be contagious and pass that contagious energy. That's what happened, you know, today. The only thing I could do was go around cars, not use a certain street, stuff like that. That's the way you got to do it. Like I mentioned before in the meeting, when I saw the breakdown, I think that's honestly what happens when you have too much stress, right? That's just having too many flies sticking around too long, and eventually you're just gonna have to be bitten and then notice and then break down, and then you're stuck with all these bites, stuff like that. But the main theme of that also applied to what I read today, which happened to be I'm back to MJ Demarco's book of the Millionaire Fastlane, which that one, again, I know I keep mentioning this, it's kind of weird that I'm reading these money books, but it's great to actually read them when you have no ways of knowing how to actually manage your money, and I think it's really awesome that what you're able to learn from there is a different perspective. Speaking of different perspective, a perspective on money is what is shifting for me. So what I mean by that is half of the reasons that we are poor is not because of, or we don't like where we are in our financial scenario, is not because of the cards that were dealt to us. It's because we continue to let those cards affect us and not do anything about them. For example, in the case of flies, right, in the now moment, if you take the second to say, okay, I'm gonna swat these flies away, you're wasting your now moment of, instead of continuing to walk, you're just standing in place. Same thing with money. If you continue to say, oh fuck man, I'm being destroyed by my bills, I'm being destroyed by my low paid job, or maybe you want a, you know, you don't like, you have a high paid job but you can't do anything with your money, stuff like that. It all comes down to what you're doing in the moment, and you're not really going after what you want to do with that, and letting it say, hey, I'm the victim, I'm being destroyed. And once you shift that mindset, that's when you can say, okay, I'm gonna walk past these flies, I'm gonna get past all of these stupid things that I'm continuing to say, this is stuck, this is making me get stuck. And again, I don't know how these days so far, 2 days in a row, have been where I've been able to just mash it all together in one theme, but I'm glad that I'm able to mash it together into one theme. Again, with this case, it's the flies, right? So if you were to continue to move forwards with your money and say, okay, I'm gonna manage myself, I'm the master of my money, I'm the master of my finances, I'm gonna continue to spend and live the way I want, and I'm gonna make sure that I am considering everything around me, because otherwise you are going to be the opposite of a victim, where you're just a delusionist, and that's the complete opposite of what you want. But in either case, if you take ownership, you take extreme ownership and mastery of, hey, this is my situation, I'm gonna do it, and you go after it, that's the same thing as saying, all right, fuck the flies, I'm gonna keep walking, I'm gonna keep going, and that's really nice that it all again adds up. Besides this, I'm again trying to keep this unstructured as possible, kind of like a, you know, like a vlog. But again, this is day 2. I'm trying to think of anything on top of my head right now, and I'm gonna be jump cutting a lot of this. I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes so I don't have to edit as much. But I think that's most, if not. I'm trying to get a knockoff GoPro or something that can get footage in the future, and trying to get a process down so I can get these videos out as soon as possible. But of course, this is all for my progress. Hey, and of course, if you guys have anything that you want in these videos, just to help me out, or maybe to make your enjoyment better, or what you think, if you are being helped out by this, if you think it's a different perspective, or better ways to get information, you know, if maybe I'm not explaining the stories better, good enough, just let me know, and I will try to put that in the video as well, because that's where this is at. It's a collaboration, of course. If you guys want to leave some feedback, go ahead and drop a comment. Go ahead, do what you got to do to let me know. I really appreciate everybody who's been, you know, hanging with me so far in these 2 days. I know it's only 2 days in, but I mean, like, man, I was not expecting anybody to really, you know, look at it even. I was just posting it for me. But anyways, now I have to get to the part where, again, I'm going to say, if you would like to skip, go right ahead and skip. This is day 2 completion of 75 hard. My name is Adam Slamfulu. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys again next time.